You can go ahead and turn your Bibles to Hebrews chapter 11. Oh no, hurry. Yeah. Okay, well, I hope you all didn't see that. Because first, we're going to play a tiny little game. I need one volunteer. Matt. Come here. It's not a hard game, so I think he can understand. Yeah. The name of this game is Guess What It Is. And if you were paying attention, you would have saw every one of those. But
a bee.
A bee?
Yeah.
No.
It's bee.
No, you can move on to the next one. No, you stay.
Stay for all of them?
It was a fly's eye.
It's close.
Okay. What is that?
A lizard.
A lizard?
Yeah.
Next. No, it was a starfish.
My answer crowd be like the price is right.
Okay. One more.
That's a rock.
A rock?
A tree. Tree bark.
Okay. Yeah, it was a tree. Good job. You got 1 out of 3, so you don't get the prize. Sit down. Okay, so with that being said, I kind of stole that from the movie Soul Surfer, if you've seen it. But yeah, the whole point of that is sometimes we can only see, well, not sometimes, all the time, we can only see part of the picture, like what we're looking at now, like the situation we're in now. But if we look at God's point of view, He can see our whole life and how everything's going to be put together to work out good. And so that just shows that we need to not stay zoomed in on this one part of our life. We need to look ahead to what all God's got for us. And so, going on to Hebrews 11, verse 1, and we're going to skip around a lot in this chapter. You can go on to the next one. All right. It says, "Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen." So basically, faith is believing in something even when we don't see it. Like the wind and love, you can see it, you can't see it, but you can feel it. And so that's how you know it's real. And that's like God. We can't see Him, but we feel Him, and so we know He's real. And another example of faith is like if you give someone some money to go to town and get you something to eat, like a cheeseburger, and you're going to have faith that they're not going to come back with nothing, that they're going to spend your money on nothing. You're going to have faith that they come back and bring you a cheeseburger. And so that's what we need to do with God. We need to give Him all we have and just have faith that He's going to, do what's best for us. And there's plenty of examples in the Bible of people who've had faith. And going on to verse 7, the next slide, it says, "By faith Noah, being warned of God of things not seen as yet, moved with fear, prepared an ark to the saving of his house, by which he condemned the world and became heir of the righteousness which is by faith." So, if you think about the story of Noah, God told him to build an ark because a big flood was coming. And in those days, and where he was at, is basically a desert. And if God's telling you, there's going to be a big flood come, all these rains in the desert, and they probably hadn't seen rain for a long time, you're going to think, what? And that's what all the people around him was thinking when he told them he was going to build a big ark because the flood was coming. They were like, no, you are crazy. You're a crazy old man. And but he had faith that what God told him was going to happen, and it happened. And so Moses had a lot of faith, and it says he moved with fear and condemned the world. So that's what we need to do. We need to move with fear, because God can do whatever he wants, and if we're not doing what he wants, he can just say, okay, whatever. But he doesn't do that. But anyway, we need to condemn the world and say, forget you, I don't need you, because God's going to do what he said for me. And moving on to verse 11. Through faith also Sarah herself received strength to conceive seed, and was delivered of a child when she was past age, because she judged him faithful who promised. And the same with Sarah. She was an elderly lady, one who you wouldn't think would have a child at her age, but God kept telling her, don't worry, I promise you're going to have a child. And it says that she had the child because she judged him faithful who had promised. So if she wouldn't have believed in him and thought he was faithful, then she would have never had a child. And this says it right here. She had the child because she judged him faithful. And so that's another thing we need to do. We need to truly believe that he'll come through for us with whatever he says. And Hebrews verse 11, it said, 13. These all died in faith, not having received the promises, but having seen them afar off, and were persuaded of them. And I'm going to go ahead and read the rest. I didn't put it up there, but it says, and embraced them, and confessed that they were strangers and pilgrims on the earth. And this one really sticks out to me because it says they not having received the promises, but seen them afar off. So they didn't see what God promised them yet. It was nowhere in sight. But instead of looking at the small picture, they looked to the bigger picture, and they looked far away from what they were in now and saw that better things were coming. And that just sticks out to me because I try to do that, because I don't really know. I'm going to be a senior in high school, and I don't really know where I'm going to college or what for. And Kelsey's in the same